Headlines most affecting Chilliwack this week. One shot, one in custody, near hope. Another legal issue for Barry Neufeld. G.W. Graham students putting together a documentary to aid the Salvation Army Pantry Program. And a number of Chilliwack Chiefs in the NHL spotlight. We'll have that coming up in sports. Our guests this week, G.W. Graham students and their documentary on the Salvation Army Pantry Program. And we have a brand new segment called Meet the Neighbours with Cari Moore in her interview with Kimberley Byers of Creekside. All right, Chilliwack, let's get started. Last Sunday afternoon, Hope RCMP responding to a shots fired call on the 5800 block of Laidlaw Road. On arrival, the Mounties identified a female suspect, took her into custody. A man suffering from gunshot wounds was located and taken to hospital for serious but non-threatening injuries. There is no threat to the public, and this investigation continues. This week, the BC Human Rights Tribunal, regarding the BC Teachers Federation complaint against former Chilliwack School trustee Barry Neufeld, started in earnest. The BCTF alleges Neufeld created and published discriminatory, homophobic, and transphobic statements, including that SOGI 123 is a, quote, evil ideology, and that parents supporting their transgender children may have caved into threats by transgender radicals. That continues. As of Monday, WestJet began to ramp up operations after a few false stops and starts to get an agreement with their mechanics union. The full resumption of operation will, quote, take time, and further cancellations will be required. That was not the news many travelers wanted to hear this week after hundreds of cancellations last week, and people were stranded all over North America. WestJet serves both the airports in Abbotsford and in Vancouver. G.W. Graham film students, along with a crew of 7, approached the Chilliwack Salvation Army wanting to document their story on the Pantry Program. They spent several months filming, interviewing, and editing Hope Through Struggle, the story of the pantry. It debuts actually in a matter of minutes as we speak. We're going to talk to the students involved in just a couple of minutes' time.
Oh, hi! What are the odds of running into you here at the Bookman? Chillac Pride's presenting sponsor in partnership with Willow Richelt. We're gonna have over 150 vendors, a kids area, food trucks, and even drag entertainers! We're gonna have the absolutely fabulous Aria ready, Justin a bit, Scarlet Rose, Jester Minute, and Jeriana! And it's going to be hosted by me! We'll be here July 21st on Wellington at 10 a.m. I can't wait to see you here on this fabulous day, rain or shine!
$68 Chilliwack graduates were awarded a total of over $86,000 in scholarships to help them with their ongoing education. This coming from the Chilliwack Foundation. The organization is celebrating 40 years next year, and they continue to receive donations to assist students and their expenses. Students from all 6 Chilliwack high schools received various grants and scholarships. CBC TV crews were recently in Chilliwack documenting the rapid growth of our city, which is one of the fastest growing cities in Canada. The interviews included Mayor Ken Popoff, Realtor Sarah Toop, former Chilliwack MLA Barry Penner, and yours truly. If you want to check it out, the piece is up on the CBC YouTube channel. Chill Sounds announcing that their Chill Couture fashion event for National Indigenous Peoples Day raised almost $1,300 for the newly established Chill Couture Indigenous Scholarship Fund for the Arts. Now, Chill Sounds do have a few more events planned for 2024. Those announcements will be made in the next few weeks. Coming up, G.W. Graham film students and their documentary to help out the Salvation Army Pantry Program. And our very new segment, Meet the Neighbours. And then a couple of Chilliwack Chiefs in the NHL Spotlight. All that is coming up after the break. This week continues with somebody we've been wanting to get on the show for a couple of weeks now, but there's this thing called high school grad that you had to go through.
Yeah.
Ayush is with was with GW Graham. You have graduated. We'll talk about post-secondary in a minute. But tonight, as we speak, there is a documentary you guys were part of, and it was on helping out the pantry with Salvation Army called Hope Through Struggle. How did this all start? When did this all start? I'm assuming it probably took you a few months to put this together.
Yeah, so this started from me because I had this idea. I was volunteering at the pantry for like just summer because I needed volunteer hours, and a bunch of people just came up to me and talked about their stories and stuff. Like I had someone come up to me and talk about like how their house was in fire because of like the fires that happened that summer, and I was like, I want to use what I've learned in film because I love film so much, and that's like everything I want to do, and I wanted to like use that ability to like make a film out of it. So I reached out to Josh like late August. He said yes, I'd love to.
Josh from Salvation Army.
Yeah, Josh Draheim. He said yes, absolutely. I want it to be all student led. Like you can take the reins on it. You have full creative control. I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah.
Then I reached out to like people at my school, like Michael Flores went at my school. He's the film teacher there. And I went to all the classes and I tried to gather like a team of like students to like help create this. And for like the first few months of school, it was all like every Wednesday at lunch we discussed like questions, and I would go home and I would write documents and I plan out everything. And then when it got to actual shooting, we filmed like the interviews and the B-roll, and that took like a long time. And then we shifted in like 2024 January. We started editing it, and then we found out, oh, there's stuff we have to reshoot, and we went and reshot that. And it's been like a whole 10-month process and we ended up getting it from like an hour to like 47 minutes to 30, and now it's at that tight 28-minute length. But yeah, it's been like hours and like hundreds of hours of work from so many people, and like so many like different like organizations helping out too. But I'm so glad that it's like here now in this finished, like neatly wrapped like state, premiering at the Grand Hall. That's super exciting. And yeah, like it's exciting. It's awesome.
When you were in the initial stages, were there other documentaries that you did some research and go, okay, let's try and pattern after this one or that one? Or did you basically say, let's see what happens, just throw it against the wall?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a person who watches documentaries, and I wanted to have it from a point of almost trying to create it like a narrative, from like a fictional narrative, or not fictional, like almost like have a story develop in there the way I do films, right? And I hadn't really pulled inspiration from other documentaries, and we had to kind of find a way to tell the story organically and naturally and have it be like compelling and impactful. So we kind of like whittled our own way out and shaped it just from our minds and like how editing works and like all that kind of stuff. But yeah, we tried to just make it authentic and have it be something that we created. So I don't think we pulled from many like documentaries. It was just a kind of an organic like figure it out as you go experience, and that really was a learning experience, and it was really fun. And yeah,
when you were doing the filming, there must have been times and people in interviews and that where you're trying to be professional, and yet you're holding back tears.
Yeah,
there had to be. Is there one or two incidences that, I mean, you can't name names. I understand that, but for anonymity. But was there one particular incident where you go, okay, this is now hitting home. This is hitting me in the face?
There were many. Like, there are people I can name, like Dory Somerset. She's one of the volunteers at the Salvation Army. While interviewing her, she recalls some of like the hardest moments that she's been through, like with the clients and like people telling her stories, and like she just breaks down just because, and we caught that on film, and that's such a vulnerable moment, but it's so impactful and it's so powerful to have such a moment where she opens up and tells people how like how much of a struggle it is, and then you see it firsthand with some of the clients that we interview in the documentary too, like how their struggle is, and just hearing it from the person, from like the actual people that are living it, and is so powerful. And that's why I think the documentary is so important and like so special, is because it's a voice that I don't think gets much attention, and I feel so grateful to be able to have like captured that and like you know, have them like feel safe and like feel honest and like open up. And I think That's what I think about it.
Prior to tonight's debut, you've already had a lot of media street heat on this. Did that surprise you, or is it for lack of a better term, a warm and fuzzy feeling like, okay, we're onto something?
It came as a surprise. Like I poured a lot of myself into this, and I know a lot of people have from my crew as well, but I didn't know where it was gonna go. And then Josh comes up and say, hey, what about a premiere? And I was like, that's not gonna go anywhere. And then it started happening, and it started becoming real. And I'm like, it's having a public premiere only a few days after I've graduated. It's like crazy to me. And it's like all the traction with like radio and like you guys and stuff. It's just, I didn't expect it, but I feel like everyone who worked on it deserves it. And I feel so satisfied with myself and like the product, the stuff that I've created, that I do feel like warm and like fuzzy about it. I'm like, do we have any other showings down the road, or is anything booked yet? Or well,
be nice to see the documentary channel from CBC run it, but
for sure,
we're putting the plug out.
We're trying. We're trying.
Yeah.
It's definitely gonna be on the Salvation Army's Facebook and their YouTube.
Yeah.
There's some discussions about like other places that we can put it in after the Grand Hall premiere. Maybe like late fall around then. But for now, it'll be on social media sites and stuff. But as far as like actual showings, I feel like there will be more, but it's not confirmed yet.
Yeah.
That's what I think about that right now.
And the follow-up to this is you're going to be doing film studies now at Capilano?
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm going to be studying at Capilano and like doing as much as I can, getting in the industry, like being a production assistant wherever I can and all stuff. Just like, this is what I love to do. And I love film, and I want to make it my thing, like live, breathe it, all that kind of stuff. And going to Capilano is like the gateway to that, because it's such a cool like place, and I'm looking forward to it.
A lot of great grads come out of there. Yeah.
It'll be exciting.
Ayush, a big thank you. Congratulations to your cast and crew.
Thank you.
That were involved, and much success.
Thank you so much.
You're watching This Week.
Hey everyone, chillTV is in downtown Chilliwack. We're going to go around and meet our neighbors. Our first edition is going to be at Creekside. Come on, let's go meet Kimberley. We are here today at Creekside Home Decor. chillTV is new to downtown, and we wanted to come out and meet our neighbors. So this is Kimberley Byers. She is the owner of Creekside. Kimberley, do you like being downtown, and what's the funnest thing about being downtown?
We love it. We've been down here for 22 years and counting. We have loved the fact that it's being rejuvenated.
Yes.
And being able to see that, because when we were first here, it was great. And then it went through a little bit of a lull, but we have a pretty tight customer base, so they have always supported us no matter what. But for us, being downtown means everything, because it's really the history of who Chilliwack is.
Exactly. And would you say is the niche that you guys cover here? What when people come in, what do they see?
Yeah, they would see home decor. We have a wide selection of home decor gifts. We have lots of candles. Candles is huge for us. We've had some lines in our store since it opened, and one of them is our Country Affair candles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. What's the one secret that nobody knows about Creekside that they probably should know?
That it actually started by a creek.
Awesome. That explains the name.
Yes, exactly. It actually started at Whatcom Road before all of that was developed.
Yeah.
So the original owners started the company there. They were in a small little building right beside the creek, behind that McDonald's that's there on Whatcom Road. And I think a year or two into her being there, she was basically told that she had to move because it was all going to be developed. Wow. So she found a space in Abbotsford at that time and developed that, and it was a beautiful store, and that's actually where I started working.
Okay.
And then she lived out in Chilliwack, so she decided to open another one in Chilliwack. So she had the two stores, and because I lived in Chilliwack, I moved to this store. So I've actually been at the store since the very beginning.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being with us today. And is there something that you'd like to leave us on about being in your new location?
Our new location is different for sure. I think some people wondered if it was going to have the same feel and the same vibe. And believe me when I say that when you come in, you will be shocked. We not only kept the same vibe and have the same feel, but it's gone a step further. We love it. As we were decorating, it just unfolded and we really fell in love with the space and feel like it's a great representation of who Creekside is today, 22 years later.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And yes, it is an amazing place to be, and you're going to be a great neighbor.
Thank you.
ChillTV Sports Canadian Olympic teams are falling into place for the 2024 Paris Olympics, starting July 26th, rolling to August the 11th, and to nobody's surprise, Chilliwack's Jordan Heidema has been named to the Canada women's national soccer team. She and the women's team won gold at the 2021 Games in Tokyo. They were canceled in 2020 because of COVID. For the third straight Olympic Games for this guy, Chilliwack's Zachary Clay will be one of 11 athletes in the Canadian gymnastics team heading to Paris for the Summer Games. Athletes were judged based on their performances at the National Championships in Gatineau back in June, where the 28-year-old earned himself a silver medal in the pommel horse. UFE's 2024 soccer schedule has been released. So the men, they'll open the season with a road trip up north to take on University of Northern BC August 23rd and 24th. They return to Abbotsford's Rotary Stadium for their home opener. That weekend we'll have games against the UBC Okanagan Heat August 30th and Thompson Rivers on August 31st. The women open their season with a road trip to Kelowna, taking on UBCO Heat on September the 6th. Then they go to Kamloops to battle TRU on September the 7th. Their home opener we'll see the club take on Mount Royal on September 13th, and then the Vikes on September 15th. Both the Chilliwack Chiefs and the Chilliwack Jets looking for billet families for the upcoming hockey season. This helps players from out of town settle in, get a home-cooked meal. That always helps. Contact the respective teams if you're interested. NHL Draft Day and free agency had a Chilliwack twist or two. The Canucks picked up free agent 6'7" Vincent Deschamps from the Edmonton Oilers. He played with the Chiefs in 2014-15. And Abbotsford-born Matthew Caron, who played 5 years with the Chilliwack Chiefs and posted a 62-35-11 record, is now with Boston University. He has now been invited to the Boston Bruins summer development camp. And then there's racing at Agassiz Speedway on Saturday. It's the Mini Stock Invitational. The gates open at 3:30. Racing is at 6. Coming up, we'll have the weather. Chill TV weather, it is going to be a hot one. Our first real heat wave of the season. So we're looking at about 3 to 5 days in a row of 30-degree heat. Cari's not here right now. She took off Canada Day and hasn't come back. Weather's kind of nice. Never mind. And thank you for watching. If you have a local news story you'd like us to report on, you can always send us a note to news@chilltv.ca. Thanks for watching. Mind the heat. Stay hydrated. Have a great weekend. I'm Don Lehn.